All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's week has gone well and you've been safe and sound during this ongoing pandemic/tax season. Very excited to meet with you. We are on episode 16 of #Bkot, how to build a kick-ass offshore team. I have two special guests with me, and we're going to be discussing the common reasons why you should consider changing your offshore team provider. And I have with me 𝗀𝗵𝗃, Chairman of Entigrity, and Mr. 𝗘𝗵𝗃𝗁, Managing Partner of FY USA. So we're excited to get started, and I'm going to turn it over to 𝗘𝗵.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate the introduction and welcome everyone. Glad to have you. The topic for today is some common reasons why you should consider changing your offshore team provider. Reason why, by the way, that doesn't mean that you should 100%. It's just the operative word here is consider. And that's because just like everything else in business, you want to take a snapshot of how you are performing in each of the different areas of your business, and based on the level of performance, you need to make some adjustments. That includes how you operate your offshore team. And so, as you can see, I'm honored to join this Facebook Live event with my colleague and friend, Sean, as well. So we hopefully can add some value if in case you are a firm that is currently receiving some offshoring services or even considering one. This would be a good episode for you to hopefully gain some knowledge and information in terms of what things you should be really looking out for. So let me throw the first question out here right out of the gate to you, Sean. In terms of when you come to a particular firm that already has an existing offshoring structure in place, what are some of these common issues and problems that what would be the top two you keep hearing about in the experience you've had?
So first of all, thanks 𝗂𝗵𝗃, thanks Chris. Mm-hmm. We are again back with our happy hour Friday. And again, I'm going to be very biased about this topic because sure. the chair in which I'm sitting, obviously makes me sound good when I'm going to talk about integrity. But I'll try to be as independent I can in my point of view.
That's fair.
But as you say, what are the two things that you commonly should consider while you are working with existing offshoring partner? Mm-hmm. First of all, I come across this a lot when we initially start this relationship, and there is a whole lot of due diligence process. I always tell this to people: don't give up on offshoring, even if you failed in first attempt. It's like it's a good option but a bad partner maybe, or a good option, good partner but maybe a bad hire.
Yeah.
So. You don't give up hopes on things, which is going to make or help you making a future of your firm. So that's the first disclaimer I want to put in before I give you exact things. That don't give up on offshore staffing for your firm in general. Us or anybody else.
Yeah. And if I can use an analogy for what you just said, and I'll let you get back to the rest of the things you were saying. But it's almost like when you go to a restaurant and you eat some bad food and you get sick, and then you don't stop going to restaurants because you just had bad food. Or another example, if you reflect back to your dating relationships, the first person who broke your heart, you didn't say, "I'm done with human beings. That's it. I'm just going to surround myself with pets and move on." So anyway, sorry, go ahead, Sean.
So one thing that I always want you to consider, whether you are joining in or you are already in a relationship with an existing partner, are they exclusive to accounting industry? And let me tell you why I'm saying this. There are local accounting firms in any of these countries, whether India or any other developing countries doing this. They take up this as part-time jobs. So there are local accounting and CPA firm whose full-time business is to cater domestic clients in their world, are trying to take this and make money out of this. Or there are other IT companies and engineering companies who take up, because they are into offshore staffing for IT businesses, or other service-based businesses, customer service and voice chat support. They end up, taking roles or they think that naturally extending their business to accounting industry is okay. So one of the important things, you have to evaluate is your partner, fully focused on what he is doing, and that's where you have the specialization. Because if we talk about us here, we have the full-fledged, taxes, accounting, bookkeeping. It changes. You need to, technology is changing, tax law is changing, so you need to keep, up to date. Just like, in IT world, technologies are changing, so you need to learn new technologies every time. So you need to have a specialization. We have, 1,000 in-house built modules. And the whole training ecosystem. So the specialization is very, very important. The exclusivity focus in the industry is according to me, very important piece of what you are entering into a partnership.
Specialty within the accounting industry definitely goes a long way. Chris, what about you? I mean, you talked to a lot of accounting firms, and you've encountered them at different stages of where they are within their offshoring. Other than what Sean had just mentioned, what is the other common issue you encounter when you talk to them?
Yeah, it's just to touch on what Sean said, and I have my what I hear quite a bit. We get a lot of questions on what's the difference with you and Manpower or Upwork or a local temp agency. There's a lot of differences because of the exclusivity. So I absolutely agree with that. And on the don't give up on the concept. God, recently too, there's been dozens of calls where they start off, they know about offshoring, and they're just angry. And after talking with me, I let them know the differences and how we can overcome them and what went wrong and how we can fix it with us. So never give up. But one thing I noticed is that when they need advanced skills, right? They're happy with their offshoring company, but they just they're capped out and they can't find the senior level for tax accounting or bookkeepers, and now they're searching around. They should have, being exclusive, should have a full-fledged of staff available. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Advanced skill set.
That's interesting. So the talent pool is the issue, right? With some of them, and that could be a problem because, frankly, the talent pool is an issue regardless, offshoring or onshoring, right? Right. So if you are dealing with an offshoring team, offshoring company provider that has a bigger talent pool ready to go, that's definitely more attractive to someone who really has some immediate needs and, frankly, is ready to scale up their offshoring. So interesting. So that brings up sort of one is the, as Sean mentioned, the area of expertise, being focused on accounting. Second thing that you mentioned is, of course, the talent pool and being able to scale up the level of team talent they have. And of course, both of you highlighted that don't give up. Just because it didn't work, it doesn't mean that offshoring is not. That offshoring doesn't work. There's go ahead, Sean. You want to say something?
I mean, well, me and Chris could be, as I said, have a little perspective bias on this.
Yeah.
But if I ask you, because you have seen everything, I mean, independently from a perspective which is just in the interest of accounting firm. So you have worked with hundreds and thousands of accounting firm, and at the same time, a lot of offshoring partner. And you have one out of multiple services as you provide. Offshore staffing implementation or offshore team implementation is one of your elements of your service. So what do you think you perceive while you advise accountants?
What this very, very on point question, Sean. This may surprise our listeners, because one of the things that I've encountered is that a lot of the firms actually go with a specific provider because, frankly, they're more expensive than the other providers. And, naturally, when you, when you buy a watch, depending on what it is, if you're paying a lot of money for it and you're expecting that it will work for at least a certain number of years, and you'll come with a warranty and that kind of thing. There's certain expectations with a price tag that we're all accustomed to. So even though offshoring, it's part of many benefits that it has is that it actually gives you bigger margins. It helps you on your profitability because your cost of labor is going to go down, even though that is one of many key components of an offshoring benefit. But nevertheless, I come across very sophisticated firms who purposely picked not perhaps the cheapest of the bunch. And to their surprise, their expectation was that, well, then we're going to get what we pay for. And the reality is not necessarily the case. And so what ends up happening is that they're still suffering through getting quality talent. They are, there's a little bit of a disorganization in the way things are happening. There's not a collaboration with the firm and the offshoring provider. And a combination of that, it really puts a bad taste in their mouth, especially when they start off with having such a high expectation. So with that in mind, it just throws out this notion that, hey, I'm going to get something better if I just spend a little bit more money on it, right? That may work in certain situations, in not perhaps in offshoring in other areas, or that may be true depending on talent by talent. It's sometimes determined that way. But that has been the biggest revelation, is that them realizing that, oops, we thought we're going to pay more and we're going to get better, but we're not. So if we're spending this much and we're not getting what we want, then where do we go from here?
I think what you're saying makes absolute sense. We are one of the most, I would say, at our scale in operations, we are one of the most reasonably priced company. And our pricing, Sia, and you were pleasantly surprised when I shared that with you. And Chris has been insisting on me, and Chris and one of my other business development manager, they are really pushing on me that we don't get any questions on pricing. Why don't you increase? So one of the reasons I don't want to increase is we want to make it affordable to everyone. That's as simple as that. I want to work with, my philosophy is I want to work with 5,000 firms if I can work instead of 500. So that's a simple philosophy I have. I want to scale it. We want to scale. And see, one of the fundamental objectives of starting this company was that we want to make the talent pool available to smallest of the firm. That was the most important objective when we started this business, which was only available to the big four and the larger ones and the whole privileged club out there who had deep pockets. We always wanted this, that it should be made available. And second thing, why our prices and margins are reasonable, we are a long-term player. Those people who have a risk of losing an account want to make money upfront, or the 6 months time, 3 months time.
I see.
We know that we are going to make little money, but it is going to be forever. So we don't, that's where, and at the same time, when you have a reasonable pricing, we are in service-based business. So whether you want to accept that reality and you don't want to talk about it, there are going to be challenges and issues, because it is not like you have 10 elements that you're going to provide and there's $19.99 a month. It is a service-based business where your expectations, your communications, your things are not completely defined in a single page scope of work or scope of engagement. So there are going to be a little aberrations. So if you want to survive in a relationship, let it start on a low base and then go high.
So
if you
build on
already start on a high base, and then it becomes unaffordable. So even some of our mistakes that we make along the road, which typically anyone would make in any relationship, whether onshore or offshore, are absorbed and taken positively, just because we have that margin, that headroom that people can tolerate us. So price is not just a number; it's about the value that we are providing.
Yeah, no doubt. So to someone, Sean, who thinks, how are you able? Because for anyone who is actually one of the reasons for them considering switching their offshoring provider could be that they're not really getting the quality they expected. In my case, in my situation, with the firms I have known over the years, because of the amount that they've been spending on those offshoring team. They were not the cheapest, and so they were not getting the quality. So if we are focused on quality here, the question comes in that, how can Entigrity grab good talent but keep the cost low in a way that doesn't impact the quality of the talent we get? Because that's the pain point. It's not the price that is a pain point, it's the quality that's a pain point. It doesn't hurt that to get a better pricing, but it's the talent that is the issue. So if you can give us some examples of how Entigrity ensures the quality of your team, I think that would be very helpful to me and so many others, I think.
First, that's a mystery everyone wants to understand. So that's a secret sauce with which we run the show. But it's not that secret. I think two simple things. On one side, the culture that we run with. How the team at our on the back end side, I always quote this example to everyone, that typically you hire accountants. You are in accounting industry, right? You end up hiring accountants. So accountants will think like accountant, that I have done my work. This is the excuse if I've not been able to do the work. It took a lifetime for me. When I say lifetime, not literally lifetime, but at least 2-3 years to transform the mindset of the people working in the team, that you are not accountant, you are customer relationship executive. And these are your customers. So you are not here to do accounting and tax work. You are here to solve problems of your clients. And one of those problems is to get the tax work done. So this is the fundamental shift that we needed, which probably we are to an extent, we have to an extent achieved. So that's one fundamental shift that we, the team, had a culture. Chris was there in our last annual meeting where we launched Entigrity 2.0. So the transformation and to teach this to accountants, it was hell of a job. So we started with customer focus, customer centricity, and took it to a level where our central mantra or our central thing is customer obsession.
I like it.
So
that's great.
So that's one of the key things that we have been able to survive. How the cost and working capital that's a simple thing. We are working on economies of scales. Our second biggest competitor in our space is 1/7 or 1/8 in size.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yes,
that's
in
that's
India.
interesting.
So of course, outside India there are few, but in India, if you talk about which has the best time zone matching difference, best demographic matching difference with US and Canada, we are the largest player with our size in the CP and accounting space. So
I gotcha.
On the price front, it's sheer economics that works in our favor. But in terms of culture, quality, I mean, there are several things, but one of the central thing was to bring that transformation in how you look at the things.
I gotcha. The mindset. Now, when you were talking about Entigrity 2.0 launch, there was a big smile from ear to ear on Chris's face. So I'm not sure how much of a great time he had, but apparently that was a good time for him because it's. I don't think
I was there 60 days. That was my best day there, for sure.
Good. You know, customer obsession, that is, I actually think that is your secret sauce. So I don't know, maybe we should take this off of Facebook Live after we finish, because that is the secret sauce. And here's the reason why I tell you this, because, you know, there is this, this very common struggle with people who are, firms who are actually using offshoring, that they kind of get a sense that the offshore team is they act a little bit more a little bit mechanical in terms of, if we don't give exact point by point direction, that then it doesn't happen, right? That there's no ownership on the offshore team to make sure that we're getting things to the finish line, that we're actually providing things, we're catching things where they need to, because not everything can be instructed. Not everything can be given in a training format. There are things that that the team needs to just catch. There are things that team needs to look for, and that comes from a change mindset with, of course, experience, but also attitude in terms of taking ownership and saying, look, I got to be obsessed about this client behind this paperwork, this file, and in order to provide them good customer care, then I need to take ownership of this. And frankly, well, I think we should take this video off. I actually think because this is really the bottom line. This is the secret Coca-Cola, Coke, that recipe that I think everyone has been looking for, but it really is that way. Can you think of a particular example, either Chris or Sean, I'll just pose this to either one of you, of that specific example that you are aware of with one of your team? Go ahead.
I'll tell you a very small story.
Yeah, please.
Very recent one. And some of the people listening to this will be able to relate this. One of our team members in India, if you, let me just give a little background on this. India was under complete lockdown for about 60 days because of the pandemic, entire April and entire May and some portion of March. When we say complete lockdown, except groceries and pharmaceuticals and hospitals, nothing is open. Practically nothing. No public transportation, nothing. No. Unlike what we have in America, where a lot of other things are working, government offices, no, strict no, nothing, no courts, no government offices. So it was like complete curfew, what we say, or complete lockdown. And internet is still a big challenge in India, at least in some parts of India. So some of our clients, about 80% of our clients, allowed work from home. One of our team members was working from home. So we made a quick transition and we took the PCs home. We made the securities out there and we changed. And the client which allowed work from home, we started working. Now, one team member, I would not name him, but he was working from home and his internet was fluctuating. So this happened 2 days continuously. Third day, what he did was in this lockdown, in midnight, he traveled to the office. He set up his computer there, locked down the office because you cannot legally open the office.
Mm-hmm.
So he locked down the office, and he locked himself in the office, and he started working from office. So now he's working for the client because, again, the workflow was there. We were in the season, and people was coming in, and so things were popping up for that firm. So what he did was, every day he was locking himself in the office. The shutter, if you go outside, the office were closed. And he used to work inside, and the way he used to travel to the office, I have not told this to that client. He used to travel from smaller places where he can actually escape from those cops checking him. And the advantage was he was really 1 mile away from the office, so he can come in. But still, to think, he could have easily said that, I will not work, or I'll work on internet capacity. Internet is
easy way out.
So there are several stories like this. There are several stories like this, where we think that what we have achieved is because of the team members and the support of our clients. So this 2 months, if you ask me, in 20 years history of Entigrity, next, fast forward, these 2 months are going to be one of the highlights, one of the top 5 moments in the history of 20 years of Entigrity, where we as a team, really kind of made that case study, where we transitioned everything to home and still kept the show on. And thanks to some of those clients who really accepted and kept the faith going, that we have worked with these people and we trust them with what they are doing. So it was a case study, yes.
Wow. As a sort of a public service announcement, if you are listening and you have an offshore team, I would highly recommend that you would be flexible with any sort of work from home situation, because it's frankly, that situation even comes up onshore, not just offshore, right? And we're still in it. We don't know yet, depending on where you are in the country. So, as you were telling me the story, tell me, Chris, if you weren't thinking that this is a great script for a movie, right?
Right. Exactly.
It had all these sort of excitements and all the sacrifice and danger that the employee was.
It could have easily just not taking care of the client, been like, hey, I don't have internet. What do I do? No, he risked a lot. He risked quite a bit, but that's the mindset and the culture of the team. And so that's amazing to hear.
I don't know. The thing is that I don't know if I know a lot of team members onshore that would be willing to do that, let alone
no way.
Offshore, right? So let's just be real about it, right?
You're getting yourself into trouble.
I know, we're just the 3 of us here. No one's other than the 10 million that is watching us, right? But listen, no, I think that's very admirable, and I know that if you have a provider with an offshoring team, that's the kind of level of commitment and care that you're hoping to get. And what do you want to say, Chris? Go ahead.
I just feel like clients at times just become complacent with who they're working with. They just accept, hey, this is what I'm getting. I'm paying this, whether it's low or high, and they just like, there's nothing else I can do. There's a lot you can do. There's so many options. Whatever you look at, whatever type of product or service, never be complacent. Don't just accept the fact. Heck no. There's so many better options. So don't ever be complacent.
Don't endure for just the sake of enduring. There's no harm in equipping yourself with full knowledge of your options. If you are listening to this webcast here, I encourage you to equip yourself. Knowledge is power. And you really don't know what your options are without really reaching out and asking for help. Sean, go ahead.
Well, one more thing, if you are, this is really, one thing that typically people don't consider, which is very important. This is like a partnership. So it is not like you're going for a window shopping, even if you end up, buying something, it's okay. This is a real partnership. So partner with someone who is progressive, who is forward-looking. If you want your firm to progress, if you want your firm to grow, partner with someone who is, ready to, look at problems that you face. It's not just about a sign up of a contract, right? What happens after that? You talk about problems, you talk about how the firms operate, how we can better the operations, how we can mold our offshore team. So it is real partnership. So, one quality which always needs, and you can really verify from, the social media and how the firm operates and their experience and things like that. You can really see that how this company is, And second thing, the culture. Today you can easily verify anything from social media. So how this company operates in terms of culture, how they treat their team members, the same way they are going to treat you.
Sometimes clients have said that they haven't been able to call their employee, only email, or they can there no video calls are allowed. I mean, if you're in that situation, that's a red flag. I mean, it's your employee. They're working for you. Why can't you see or talk to them? I mean, I'd be skeptical about it.
I'm gonna, with both of your permission, I'm gonna disclose something that I know from being on this side and looking internally at your operations. I have been doing this long enough in terms of helping accounting firms improve their business performance for most of my career. And so I've come across a good range of offshoring providers. And just like anything else in life, there are some out there that have the appearance that the employees are happy, have the appearance that they got things together. But it's only when you start actually working with them and you see behind the scenes. And by the way, there's a lot of different areas of the world and different company cultures that they don't appear oppressive, but they're very oppressive, meaning that the employees don't feel the freedom to express how they truly feel. So they go along with this promotion that, yes, they're happy, when in fact, once you get it, once you go a level deeper, you realize they're really not. And the reason why that's important is because truly genuine, happy people do great work. They love coming to work and they do great work. And when I said, with your permission, what I want to share with them is that internally, what I've witnessed in dealing with some of your employees and seeing how things work sort of behind the scenes, there is a genuine sense of care and happiness. There is a genuine sense of hope. And we're all alive with hope. It's not just being happy for the sake of being happy. It's really having joy in what you do. And it's just been really privileged. I get a lot of help from your team. Communication, phenomenal. And that's one other thing that I've seen in terms of common issues that makes you consider using other offshoring providers is communication. Just exact, precise, clear, crystal communication. And some of the communications I've gotten from your team, it's just been like, I'm like, this is fantastic. Like this takes me back to writing legal briefs, and in terms of how thorough it is. And it's almost like a court, what do you call it? Court reporting, right? That's how it is. Just dropping a line here, just giving a shout out, talking about Alan. But anyway, there is okay. Any conclusions? Any summary thoughts that you want to share before we wrap this up, guys?
Well, I think we should make an important announcement of Accountable.
Okay.
We are inviting most of our clients to Accountable. So we are doing a conference together. So you will see us there, and it is a must-attend conference for every accounting firm who is looking to kind of, see forward and take their firm to the next level. I know it sounds cliched, but take their team to the next level, not just firm. We are doing that in November in partnership with 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗂𝗃. And of course, 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗂𝗃 is the main anchor. And thanks, Sia, for letting us be, part of this conference. And we are really looking forward to it. If you want to kind of make an announcement of dates and everything, I'll leave it to you.
Sure. Thank you, Sean. Well, you know what? Teamwork makes the dream work. And it's really a fruit of everyone involved and their constant support and caring and promoting and designing and putting together. It's a big task, heavy load, but with great reward. And our reward really comes in this format, that we have an opportunity to make an impact in the lives of those who are seeking to improve their business performance. And what I want to tell you is that, look, it's not about hype. It's not about flash. It's not about, let me just make you feel better about things. Is taking up, Sean said, we're obsessed over customers. Well, the event is obsessed over diagnostic, over having a real understanding of what's happening at the core of your business and putting a structure in place that is break by break, is done systematically so that you can scale up. And if you already scale up, you can go and improve and grow your business, but do it responsibly, where it's sustainable and it's not a silver bullet. It is a 2-day event. It is on the November 12th and 13th. However, it's not going to feel like 2 days. It's going to zip by really fast. It's not one of those things you sit back and just watch people speak for 2 days. There's actual workshop. I know, Sean, you're going to be involved. Chris, you're going to be there. And we've lined up some very impressive workshop and speakers, leaders in the industry that I think will make a big impact. And just to put your mind at ease, in case you're just curious about it, it comes with a money-back guarantee. We put our money where our mouth is, and we want to extend the invitation to you. Please join us and allow us to make an impact for you, your team, and your clients. And I'll give it back to you, Chris.
All right. So again, thank you everybody for joining. Hope you learned quite a bit about the concept of offshoring and making sure that you are with the right partner. My lighting team has put a spotlight on Entigrity. It's the sunlight, so got to adjust that a little bit. But again, have a great weekend, everybody. We will be with you within a couple weeks again, and hope to talk to some of you guys soon. And that's about it. So
pop quiz, Chris. A quick pop quiz before you sign off. What's the website for the event?
Accountable2020.com.
It's accountable-firms.com. That's okay. You get a B+. No worries.
Maybe we will buy that domain and redirect it to accountable-firms.com.
We should get accountable-2020. How can we not think about 2020? It's accountable-firms.com. So
accountable-firms.com. Visit it today. Check it out.
Yeah, I'll test you in 2 weeks to see how you do. All right.
All right. Start studying.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Be good. Bye.
Bye-bye.